using only FL stock plugins. We're going to be making a song in the style of On Earth by The Sunday. Sorry about my camera, it just automatically zooms sometimes. It's got to zoom me. So we're going to start by having our project set to 97 BPM, because that's the exact BPM of that song. And I'm going to go into flex, and I have this guitar selected, the distortion hybrid. It sounds like this. And you can use whatever guitar you want. That's just the one I found that seemed to work for this style. And then I have some reverb and delay. That's the settings for the delay, just basic ping pong. And then the reverb is pretty strong. The wet's up pretty high. So, you know, you could just copy those settings or do however you want to do it. But yeah, a lot of what this song is, and what I noticed about a lot of dream pop is just, it's a lot of seventh chords. And that sounds scurry, but it's really not, because you can kind of copy and paste it. So we're going to start with a C major 7, which is a very pretty sounding chord, which is just C, G, E, and then B. And those types of chords are really good for dream pop because they give you a little bit of ambiguity and a little bit of tension. The seventh chords are used a lot in jazz and things like that. There was something else I was going to say. I don't remember what. And if you want to take this out of the major key, you can take this seventh right here, the B, and do it one semitone down, and that's called a flattened seventh. And that gives you a much grungier, kind of unsettling type of feeling, because I think that's what the magic of dream hop is, or dream pop, not dream pop, dream hop. But yeah, that's kind of the magic of dream pop, is that it's like pretty, but it's also a little unsettling. And I think that matches well with dreams, you know, because something's off, you know, it's not real. It's not connecting to reality all the way. So, and I know that's not a technique exactly, but I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. So in the beginning, they do this chord just like over and over again. So we're going to do something similar. So I'm just going to select everything and do Alt-S to turn it into a strum, just to make it sound a little bit more real. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this chord and put it right here. So it'll just kind of keep going in the intro. Oh, and I'm going to take this flattened seventh back to the B. And then in the second chord, you could take the seventh and do like whatever that's called. You could like bring it down 2 semitones. And you can kind of just bounce back and forth from that. And because that gives it a little bit of variation while keeping it pretty much the same chord. We'll just keep that for the intro. And then you don't want to change up your chords too much, because the thing about dream pop is it's very hypnotic and it kind of just keeps going. So we're just going to copy this one more time, except the second chord is going to be something different. So let me make sure that this is just like on beat with the C. Yeah, okay. So whenever it goes into the verse, we're just going to keep this C major 7, and then we're going to go down to an F major 7. And I'm just playing with different chords. I'm not really thinking about this too much. And I think that's a really good thing to keep in mind. Like, don't think about it too much. Just use what sounds good to you and just try these seventh chords. And you can just copy and paste them into different root notes to get a different sound. So we've got that. Oops. I think I have a bass. I don't know. What was that? Oh. What the fuck? Oh. I had another thing playing. Okay. Grr. Dame un grr. Explain music theory for newbies, please. Okay, I can try that. Pretty but unsettling sounds like Ethel Cain's preacher's daughter to me. I don't know who that is. That's my favorite. That's my favorite type, though. Pretty but unsettling. And then I think they use an A sus chord, which is an A suspended. And I don't know what that is exactly. So yeah, we'll just throw in that A major. Really not thinking about this too much. So we'll just copy and paste that for like the whole verse. Because we're just being dreamy. Let me listen to the chorus of On Earth real quick. Sorry, guys. I got to turn down my mic input. I know. Okay, it really sounds like there's no chorus exactly. It just kind of keeps on going. That's interesting. E minor add C? What the fuck? Yeah, they got some weird chords in here. So, I'm sorry. You might have to learn music theory to make dream pop. Airplane mode limbo. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll just keep that going for a while, and then we'll just make a new chord and do an E minor. I don't know. Let's not get too complicated with the chords. It's fine. Something like this would work, you know, if you have good songwriting with it. So we're just gonna do like from here to here. And now we need to add in a guitar lead. My CPU cannot handle 2 flex guitars very well, so I'm gonna export this first guitar to audio, and then we're gonna add a guitar lead for it. Just every now and then, something like really simple, just to keep the vibe going. Yo, man, where you get them shades? I got them on Amazon. They're like $6. Do you blaze on live? No, I don't. I don't blaze at all. Marijuana terrifies me, as a matter of fact. Like, I can't smoke at all. I used to. But yeah, that shit be fucking with my brain too much. Alright, so this is our guitar that we just exported to audio. I'm going to rename this. Call this Guitar 1. Alright, and now let's get a guitar lead. And we'll just use flicks again. I'm just going to try to find something that's a little different. Or we can just change the tone of it. Yeah, we should definitely get another guitar. Piano-ish? Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, that actually sounds nice. And the best way I can tell you to make melodies is just like fuck around in the scale. I think we're in an E minor scale, it feels like. So I'm just gonna bounce back and forth from like the G to the A, because in dream pop you really want to be as simple as possible and give it something that's like repeating, because that's gonna help with the whole hypnotic vibe. And maybe we can go an octave higher. Let's turn up the lead a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna add like one more note. Yeah, something like that. That's sounding good. All right, yeah. And that can pretty much go on for most of the time. And then maybe we'll change this A to a B. Yeah, we can just keep that going on a lot of the time. Oh, and then maybe we can have this melody come back, but just a little bit different, and play off at the E a little more. So it's like... And then we can just take this B and bring it up to the E. And that's another way to vary your melodies. You can like keep the same rhythm of the melody and just change some notes around and just see what feels good, you know? Just get a little creative with it. Yeah, so I'm gonna just bring these up to a D, because I'm just fucking around. I don't know. So that gives us just enough variation where It's like, it's interesting, but it's also hypnotic. And then during the verse, I'm just going to keep it even more repetitive by taking out that variation we did and just copy and pasting it like this. And then for here, we'll switch it up just to keep it interesting. The chords are staying the same, but we're just going to add a different lead just to give it a different vibe. And we'll just delete that completely and maybe do something that's kind of descending. I think we should start on E. Yeah, it's really just playing around with different melodies. I don't really... Sounds like some Neil Diamond. I don't know what Neil Diamond sounds like. And then when that goes to that F, we could bring this down to a C. And yeah, and then we'll just keep going with that, and that'll be like the second the sexy section, the second section. All right, and I'm gonna export this guitar as well to audio. Because, bruh, my CPU be fucking up sometimes. So, that's just what I gotta do. Okay? That's what I gotta do. Could you just use Soundgoodizer instead of turning up the volume, or is that too much when using Flex? Mick Swagger, you can do anything you want, really. I wouldn't typically use Soundgoodizer on a guitar because... You know, this is like a chill, clean guitar, but you could definitely use it on anything with Flex or anything you want to. And basically, all Soundgoodizer is Maximus presets. By the way, it's basically just multi-band compression, but guitar lead 2, or no, well, whatever. Guitar lead 2. Okay. So before we get into bass and drums, we need to make this more dreamy. So I'm going to take these chords and we're going to replace it with a synthesizer. So we might as well use Flex because Flex is basically like Nexus, you know. Let's go to the synth wave. Maybe they got something cool. I don't know. Oopsie. Jesus. That is too much. Let's just find something. We've got to have a good pad in here somewhere. No. You can search in Flex, right? Yeah, there it is. Let's just search for pad. Juno Super Pad, or let's try Iron Pad. Okay, yeah. Juno Super Pad. Yeah, that sounds good. So we've got the chords right here. Let's try that an octave up. Now, we really don't want that to be heard too much. That's going to be in the background, so I'm just going to put a low pass filter on it. And I'm going to turn this reverb up a lot. You could even take the dry out of the reverb. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Then we'll export that pad to audio, bruh. I like FL Studio. Hell yeah, a Nat Punk FL Studio, that shit, boy. I fucks with FL as well, if you can't tell. By the way, I got mugs, bruh. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna rename this to pad. That's our pad audio. And then sometimes I just like to duplicate and make unique sample pads and stuff and just like pitch them up or down. Sometimes it gives like a cool effect. This is just a side note. That guitar sounds a little too much up in this region to me, so I'm just going to duck that down a little. Alright, so that sounded good. Oh, I still have the pad playing. That's why it sounded so loud. And another thing that I've noticed in a lot of Dream Pop is a chorus. So we're just going to go to the... Oh, they got the vintage chorus. This is actually pretty fire. I have a whole tutorial on how to use the vintage chorus. So if you want to see that video, it's up here. But yeah, we're just going to throw it on there. And chorus is really just kind of detuning it a bit with itself, and it just, you know, it fucking sounds good, alright? I don't know. And I'm just going to EQ this guitar the same way and take out some of that high end. Yeah, I'm going to take out some mids too. And the next thing I'm going to do is just cut some low end from this pad because we're about to add a bass guitar. And a little bit of mids. Alright, nice, that sounded good. Oh, and I need to turn off this noise. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, so let's start adding some bass guitar. Bass guitar. Skirt, skirt, when you skirt, skirt. Hey. Alright, so I've already got a bass guitar selected. I just kind of went through these and found it. It's the very second one down, called 5-string bop bass fingered. It's just a chill sounding bass, so yeah, I thought it would be good. So basically we're just gonna follow this chord progression with the bass, but we're gonna change up the rhythm some. So I'm just gonna copy all of that MIDI, and then we'll go to our bass, go to the piano roll and paste. But we definitely need to go down. And I just got to make sure that the bass is only playing one note. But I want this to be strummed, so I'm actually going to select everything and click Alt-U, and that's just going to automatically give us some options for strumming it like that, and I think that sounds good right there. Maybe we can try doing it faster. Yeah, that sounds good. And to give it just a more of a realistic vibe, I'm gonna do a velocity pattern to something like this, but the basic concept is just doing the first one kind of at the top, and then the second one down, and then the third one up a little bit, and the fourth one down, and then just kind of repeating that over and over again. And that just sounds a little more realistic. So I'm gonna delete all of these notes and just copy and do Control B to just and then I can copy Control B again and just bring these down to the F. It's just an easier way to get it sounding how you want it to sound. Oh, okay, bro. I was just freaking out. The bass guitar has some like humanization noises, and I thought it was a door opening, and I'm by myself at the house right now. So I was like, what the fuck? God. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, paste it on the C, and then copy it and do it on the A. All right. So yeah, the rest of it is just that same chord progression. So I can delete all that. And then we can copy all of that. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. And just paste that for everything. And you can switch up the length of the bass notes sometimes if you want to. Like leave some, you know, fucking sustained for a bit if you want to. Ghosts, Raul, yeah, that's what, bro, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm terrified of them. It's really weird. It's really weird. But I mean, I get it. I get why. It's because of some trauma that happened to me a few years ago. But yeah, there we go. That's our bass, and this is sounding really good. It sounded very dreamy. And let me check something in here. Yeah. There we go. Just wanted to add some more hashtags. All right. All right, so there's our bass guitar bounced out to audio. All right, and now all we really need to do is add some drums and some vocals. I found a nice splice drum loop that works well for this. But I'm going to delete that because I'm going to see if we can do this all with FL Studio drums. That's going to be the hardest thing because FL Studio drums is ass. So I would highly recommend getting a Splice membership and getting drums from there. And you basically just want any type of like vintage drums. But you know, what if the person watching this doesn't have a Splice membership? Let's just go through on packs here on the browser. Oh wait, Flex has drums? Well, actually, Flex probably has better drums than anything we'll find in the browser. So I'm just going to search for Drumful Treasure. Oh, I thought it was going to be like a whole ass kit. Nope. Why would they have a thing that's all kicks? I mean, it's different kicks. I guess that's good. Huh. Yeah. Oh well. We tried. All right. Let's just see what we can find in the browser. Alright, I'll just take this Groove Crash and pitch it up maybe. God, that sounds so bad. The 22-inch kick does sound kind of vintage. Probably just have to pitch it down a little bit. And let's see if we can get some hats. Well, it sounds a little bit like a real hat, so. God, that sounds so bad. Fuck this. We're not doing it with FL Studio drums. There is a indie rock sample pack on Splice, which is what I'm gonna use. Blood, they sound goofy as fuck. They do. I'm trying to make it work. What's good, Bottomless? And yes, Monster Chief, I am still at it. But yeah, I have this cinematic indie rock kit from Splice, and it's got some really good drums for stuff like this. So we'll just put a hat in there. We'll get a kick. We'll get that one. And I'm just going to go to the sampler and do this out thing to, you know, fade it out some. See, it already sounds so much better. Let's add a snare. I guess I only have the snare clap, but that should work. And yeah, that's pretty much all we need. I might add a open hat at the very beginning. And just throw it in there every now and then. Yeah, and you really don't have to think about the drums too much. They're very simplistic in this type of style. But we do got to make these hats sound better. Dig in your butt, twin. Where did that come from? Yo, it's like paint by numbers? What you mean? So to make these hats sound a little bit better, give them a little more realism, we're going to go to the wrench and turn up this shift. Maybe around here. This is around where I like to do it, because if you do it too much, it gets too offbeat. But I've found that that's like a good area. It just depends on how much swing you want. And then I'm going to open these hats in the piano roll and just adjust some velocities just to make it more realistic. So we'll just do something very similar to what we did with the bass guitar and do like that. And sometimes I even like to just take individual notes and hold Alt while clicking to drag it off the grid a little bit. It just gives it a little extra swing, a little extra realism. I just like to make them a little bit late and sometimes a little bit early just to simulate an actual human playing them. And yeah, that really helps a lot. I like to do that with the snare sometimes too. Like make every other one a little bit late. You got to be careful with kicks and snares with this though. And I would suggest like changing up your drums a little bit more, but you know, I'm just showing you the process for this. So just, you know, every now and then make a slightly different drum beat. And that's basically, yeah, we've got our drums, we've got our bass. Where the lyrics come in, I'm going to say it really depends. You could have them come in whenever, but I usually like to do an intro in my own music. So we're just going to have this first section where the melody goes through one time be the intro. And then right here at 19 seconds in, that's where we'll do the drums. I mean the vocals. So I'm actually going to take out the drums for the intro and the bass as well. You know. Yeah, so it kind of like sets the mood. Like a Pop-Tart, and I'm not scared of Pop-Tarts. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to freestyle some vocals over this. The lyrics are not going to make sense, but I'm just going to do that so you can just see how I would process these vocals to make them sound dream poppy. Dream poppy. That's what they called me in prison. For real. I swear. Bro, I went to prison. 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 They beat me up. Not really. I didn't go to prison. Let mastering it. Yeah, we could do some mastering. Maybe. I don't know actually. That would probably be a separate tutorial. But yeah, so I'm just going to record some vocals in, and then I'll dream popify them. Hold on. My bad. Hold on. Let me practice a little bit. Let me get something going in my head first before we record that. I have been producing for 11 years. I like to just fuck with my voice and just move it all up and down. It's gonna sound horrible, but that's just what I do to find it. I don't know. I want to sing about Pop-Tarts, I guess. I was driving on my way home, looking for my Pop-Tarts. She told me, baby, don't you worry, I don't care about your hurry. I've been keeping on the same page. It's a different book every day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Alright. That's not the best, but you know, it is what it is. It sounds like dream pop vocals to me. So yeah, I'm just going to normalize this, and then I'm going to send it to a mixer track, and I'm not going to go over the entire vocal mixing process, because that would be like an entire video. There's just a lot that goes into it. But for now, I'm just going to add an EQ to take out the high end of it. And then, since we're doing FL stock only, I'm going to use I guess I'll use Fruity Compressor. And again, compression, that would be a whole video in itself too. I got a FL Studio has some latency when I record, so I always have to manually adjust the timing. I was driving on my way home, looking for my Pop-Tart. What normalize mode do? Normalize just tries to get the audio around the same volume. If you have a quiet recording and you hit normalize, it just kind of helps it bring everything up. I was driving on my way home, looking for my Pop-Tarts. She told me, baby, don't you worry. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit in the high end, and I'm going to get rid of a little bit of these bassy frequencies. I was driving on my way home, looking for my Pop-Tart. Okay, yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. And then all we really need is like some chorus and some reverb, just to really like drown it out, you know. So I'm gonna put some reverb on there first. I was driving on my way home, looking for my Pop-Tarts. She told me, baby, don't you worry, I don't care about your hurry. And then, yeah, let's just add the vintage chorus again. And you can just play around with the presets. A lot of them sound great. I think they have a doubler preset in here, which sounds cool. And usually when I'm recording vocals, I'll have doubles and stuff like that. But just for the sake of this, do they not have a doubler preset? Interesting. Let's just try this retro chorus one.
I was driving on my way home, looking for my part-times. She told me, baby, don't you worry, I don't care about your hurry. I've been keeping on the same page. It's a different book every.
But yeah, something like that. And I like to keep the mix pretty small, you know. And what's good, Monster Chief? Yep, I'm still at it. I don't know if he really wants to check out the song and help me. Yeah, sorry, Clay. I'm you know, I gotta do one video at a time. And I'm gonna add a little bit of delay, and I'm just gonna keep the volume down pretty low.
I was driving on my way home, looking for my part-times. She told me, baby, don't you worry.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you make a dream pop in FL Studio. We can listen to what we made. I don't know if I'll keep that in the recorded video or not, because who knows.
I was driving on my way home, looking for my part-times. She told me, baby, don't you worry, I don't care about your hurry. I've been keeping on the same page. It's a different book every day. Yeah, oh.
It's a different book every day. That's that tutorial. Hell yeah.